they shared or someone in their group shared about what taking action is?
It was like there's something that's wrong.
Yeah. Standing for something that's wrong. Yeah. Okay.
She said take action just to take it.
Yeah. Take action because
Just do it.
yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Anyone else like to share? Alright. Well, I guess we can give our personal, or you can give your personal definition of taking action for everyone.
Oh, I guess taking action means fighting for the issues that you're passionate about. You?
Taking action to me is, well, a lot of what we do is doing what has inspired us to make a change and then to actually make that change and take action.
So we're from the Gates Foundation, and the Gates Foundation is the largest private foundation in the world, founded by Bill and Melinda Gates. The primary aims of the foundation are to globally enhance healthcare and reduce extreme poverty, and in America to expand educational opportunities and access to information technology. And today we're going to be focusing on a couple local issues, including teen homelessness and climate change.
Here are all the pillars of the Gates Foundation that we focus on. A couple that we just want to point out is global health and global development.
So Teens Take Action is the group we're part of, and it's a year-long program that empowers the next generation of change makers and equips them with the tools to make a difference. Teens learn about the work of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and its partners, skills needed to create and launch our projects, and participate in volunteer opportunities. And if anyone wants to apply for next year, applications are at the end of this school year, I believe.
And we also have the Take Action Fair that will be coming up soon in April
25th.
25th. And it's open to the public, and we love for all of you to come at the Gates Foundation Visitor Center.
So this is actually one of the volunteering things that we did as a group at Teen Feed, and Teen Feed is basically a nonprofit organization that provides fresh hot meals for teens every night throughout the whole year. So we're going to start off by talking about teen homelessness. I actually got involved with teen homelessness after I used to bus through the U District, I still do, every day to get home, and one day I noticed that there were tents right on the Ave, if anyone knows where the Ave is, and it's like a main street, so it kind of shocked me that they're usually hidden, so I was kind of surprised. So I went over and asked them what they were doing, and they said they had partnered with an organization to kind of make them be seen, make their voices heard, and that's kind of what inspired me to get involved with this issue. So these are just some facts about teen homelessness. The Department of Justice estimates that every year over 1.7 million teens experience homelessness in the U.S. The King County Committee to End Homelessness estimates that between 5,000 and 10,000 youth and young adults experience homelessness each year in King County. Family crisis is the most prevalent reason youth and young adults identify for becoming homeless. Over 50% of young people in shelters and on the streets report that their parents told them to leave or knew that they were leaving and didn't care. So this is just a video about a specific homeless teen.
You tell me.
Do you want to introduce it?
Oh yeah. So this is a project that a homeless teen took on, and he's in this video. He's very poetic with his words when he talks a lot about his experiences through homelessness and how he decided to make his change.
First off, hi, I'm Tyler Bertzlaw. Got a rough life, but it could be worse off. Honestly, I'm on the streets, constantly running for free. Set on fire, struck by lightning, liked it so much it became frightening. My homeboy got killed. Homegirl popped pills. Stayed up late nights just trying to not feel it. Yes, I'm a rapper, not a full rocker. Rather play dodgeball instead of play soccer. I spit like I can mack it with cat. Tip of the hat, I'm half white and half black, but there ain't no difference, so why you worrying about that? My dad and me lived in a car outside in Everett. He was worried about me, like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna take care of my son? And I feel like if you say something hurts, you're just reaffirming the pain. I'm like just sitting there having the time of my life, picturing myself fighting a dragon. So I have a stick and I'm fighting this dragon because it's all hot, but it's invisible. So I attacked the dragon and won. Yeah, I was 8. Me and my dad would go stand under the bridge that connects Everett to Marysville. It was pretty nice. As soon as my head hit the sand, I fell asleep. But as soon as I live in a house, it's like so difficult to sleep for me. Like I'm so accustomed to sleeping outside or on a roof or something. I noticed a lot of people, like if I needed help, they wouldn't help me. They would say, "Oh, get a job, you bum," and stuff. So I tried to apply for Wendy's. It's not the best job, but it's a job. The manager that I was actually talking to told me to my face, "You're big and you look like you would steal the money from the cash register or you would intimidate the customers. I'm sorry, goodbye." So I'd be like, "Ha ha ha, cool, thanks," and just shove it off my shoulder, but it would hurt deep inside. I try my best, but I see hundreds of people doing thousands of times better than me. If I do my best and can't make it, then I have to find some other way of survival. I went over and to the gas station and bought food for this homeless couple that had nothing and no shoes or anything. I took off my shoes and gave the guy my shoes. I walked around. I couldn't take a bus because of no shoes, but I did it. I'm trying to help people that like are homeless, street kids and stuff, because a lot of my friends died because of winter and they've gotten into chronic meth and other stuff. So I'm trying to stop that. I want them to be positive. It really hurts to have people not really care what happens, but I'm not gonna quit because I mean, if they give up on themselves, then the world wins. My dad's taught me a lot. Like, I mean, he was my hero. Still is. He's the one that got me into rapping, and I feel like this is a person that would go to hell or high waters for me, and so it felt good to have someone I could actually trust. It feels like things are actually looking up for once, finally, because there are positive things. Sorry. Off with his head, so said the beast inside. If we listen to the beast, then our souls will die. We fight and fight, but is it a pointless cause? Why do so many people just want to focus on our flaws? Aw, man, it's about to get heavy. I'm like your worst nightmare. You can call me Freddy. Come on, man, and grab my machete. I'll slice and dice the mic thrice like confetti. Only difference is I ain't playing no more. I have won the battle, but now I'm going to war.
So as we saw in that video, it was about the teen who experienced the journey that is being homeless and trying to get back on his feet. Does anybody want to say something or that inspired them, or that this video inspired them, or not inspired you, but made you start thinking about the problems other people have faced in their lives, or maybe something you connect with? Well, personally for me, something that I really liked about the video is the fact that he's expressing himself. I mean, for you to go through that much pain and that much trauma, and then to be able to talk about it publicly, I think that's just amazing to me. Yeah.
I like that he wasn't trying to make people feel bad for him.
Keeping that positive attitude is
I like that even though he was in a really difficult situation, he like stepped up and tried to help out of it.
absolutely.
So I go to Roosevelt High School and I'm the community service coordinator in my ASB. And so one of the projects I did was a pancake breakfast. And we basically got ASB to fund it, and we got a whole bunch of ingredients, and we made pancakes, we got pastries, orange juice, and basically it was kind of a canned food drive, so anyone who came, we encouraged them to donate cans, and we raised over 500 cans for Northwest Food Harvest, and we had like 150 extra pancakes, which we drove to the local tent city, which is right there. And another thing I did at my school was I got a speaker, and he was Rex Holbein, and he's done TED Talks before, and he's actually the executive director of a nonprofit organization facing homelessness. And I think this was a really good way to raise awareness because a lot of people cried during the presentation, and they came up to me and said that it really inspired them to take action as well. And this is another idea for me to raise awareness, just putting posters up around school. I'm going to pass it on to Malaya, who's going to talk about her story. Hi, I'm Malaya, and I'm also working in teen homelessness, but I chose to specifically work with those who identify as LGBTQA homeless youth. The reason I chose to go so specific with my action project is because I myself identify as bisexual. And when I came out to my parents, it was really awkward, and I didn't want to do it, but it had to be done. But I was lucky enough that they accepted me for who I was. But unfortunately, for 1 in 4 American teens every day, they will come out to their parents and be faced with rejection and forced to live out on the streets as LGBTQA homeless youth. Now, because of recent strides in legislation like legalizing gay marriage in a lot of states, more teens feel more comfortable with their sexuality and more comfortable talking about it. So they'll come out to their parents and be faced with rejection. So that means that approximately 40% of homeless teens identify as LGBTQA, whereas only 10% of the total youth population identify as LGBTQA. And this is a very disproportionate ratio. And not only that, but since they've been rejected from their homes and their friends and their family, they don't have that same support system as a lot of other homeless youth. The majority of homeless youth are actually living with their parents, but since they're living on their own and they've been totally cut off from everything they've ever known, they're more at risk than heterosexual homeless youth. 58% of homeless LGBTQA youth report being sexually assaulted. That's compared to 33% of heterosexual youth. 88% of staff at youth homeless shelters report that the LGBTQA homeless youth weren't safe in the group homes, which is why specifically LGBTQA youth shelters like ISIS House and Lambert House are so vital to our community and giving them that sense of like acceptance. And not only that, but they're 8.4 times more likely to attempt suicide if they're rejected by their families. And they're also 2 times less likely to graduate high school and pursue a college career if they're homeless. So one of the main things I'm working on for my action project is giving them that same sense of community and acceptance that I've been granted. So one of the ways that I've been really trying to work on that is something as simple as giving them a birthday. A birthday is something that we use to kind of celebrate ourselves. It seems like such a trivial thing, like how many of you have celebrated a birthday in the past few months? And did you celebrate with your friends and your family, cake and presents and things? And that seems like a normal thing, right? But for these teens, they've been cut off from their friends and their family, and they don't get that same thing that every one of you get every year. So I'm working with an organization called Birthday Dreams, and they provide birthday parties for homeless youth all across Washington. So my action project is partnering them with these LGBTQA specific homeless shelters to give them a birthday party. I'm also working with other teen shelters that are run by the same organization called Youth Care. And this gives them like a higher sense of self-worth during this really difficult time for them, which makes them less likely to commit suicide and more likely to pursue education. This is Birthday Dreams. I have been working with Birthday Dreams for about 3 years now, I would say. And they also work with a bunch of other shelters. I think now they're up to 52 total shelters all across Washington. They work with not only like homeless shelters, but people in transitional housing. And for them, they give them like a box with all the supplies to have a birthday party. I see that photo over there. So, yeah, well, just to kind of close off this homeless issue, these are just some of the organizations that we've worked with and that maybe you guys want to volunteer at or get more research on or something like that. So these are those. And now we're kind of going to switch gears into climate change. Well, are we doing the issue bus?
Yeah.
Okay,
So we are doing the issue bus.
So Tommy's going to lead it.
I am. All right. We're gonna run it. Yeah. I think that's a yes. Hello everyone. So one of our most prevalent icebreakers that we've run throughout the year is called the issue bus. And what the issue bus has helped us all do, or at least helped me do, is to really focus on passions or things that inspire you and your mindset really. And what the issue bus is you take an imaginary or make-believe bus around the world with your students, and around the journey there are 2 stops on either side of the bus, and you are required to exit the bus on the side that contains the issue that you are most passionate about. So that's really a lot of what the issue bus is, and we'd like to run with that with you guys today. So can I take about 5, 7, 8 volunteers?
Should we just have everyone?
Yeah, we
Oh,
should
yeah.
just have everybody
Okay,
get
so
out.
we probably get it in 2 lines here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Going out.
Two lines.
So 2 lines.
Yeah.
So the buses are here, 2 lines.
So someone join each line.
Alright, perfect. You guys can squeeze in
Yeah.
a little together.
Scoot towards each other in the center so that we can have 2 stops.
Local funding for buses and more station buses.
I don't know why
Yeah.
you bus.
Alright. Okay, so everybody, you're gonna have to turn your wheels like this because we're going on the bus and the wheels on the bus go round and round, of course. And our first stop is, go ahead and shout it out. Where's our first stop? Somewhere in the world. Somebody tell us where we're going.
Texas.
We're going to Texas. Alright. So we're headed to Texas. I don't know how to get to Texas, but we're just south.
We're there
Yeah,
now.
south. Okay, we're in Texas. Great. Okay, cool. Alright, so here in
We
Texas.
just need 2 different.
Yeah, here on Texas we have 2 parts of Texas, and we'll start something easy, just so you guys can get in the feel of the activity.
Iceberger.
So on this side, we will have listening, and on this side we'll have talking or speaking. Which issues or
What do you
is,
enjoy doing?
Yeah, what is more important to you? What do you believe is more important in the world?
Are we allowed to like?
No, you have to
You
get
have
off
to
the
get
bus.
off the bus. You
Yeah.
have to choose one.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can always within the activity you can always
Both
change.
sides are going to be able to give reasons why, and you're allowed to change.
So we can just start with the big group open discussion. Does anyone want to say why you chose listening on this side?
I think that sometimes we think we're listening to a person and their ideas, but we're not actually listening to what they're saying. And sometimes it's really good to be able to force yourself to put yourself in that other person's position. And so you can talk as much as you want, but listening is how communication and ideas spread.
Does anybody from this side want to share why they chose talking?
If no one talks, there's nothing to listen to.
I mean, like, I could honestly stay on either side, but, I think talking to me is not defined as just like talking at someone, it's communication, and that includes listening and.
Oh, all right. So everybody back on the bus. Thank you for participating in our Texas issue bus. All right, and now what's our next destination, everybody?
Hawaii.
Hawaii is. So we had to be on an airplane, so everybody's got to. Because it's a magic school bus, so we gotta.
School
You gotta go like this, and then we're curving right because that's where Hawaii is. I think.
I don't really know.
We don't do geography. All right, and we're here in Hawaii, one of the islands there, probably Honolulu. And our next 2 set of issues on the bus is going to be environmental rights and human rights. Please exit the bus. Please exit the bus now.
When we did this activity with our group, it was one of the most controversial ones as well.
Great. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So before we get into our group discussion, how about we all pair up or group up and kind of discuss why you chose your sides. Yes, like all.
For climate change, like the reason that the earth is dying, so we educate people on how to take care and also a lot of times all the like entering your reaction actions access. It's just like Yeah, because you can like keep changing things, but you gotta like get to the conclusion.
So at the same time, we're one of like so many.
This is, we're two sides.
It's
We're,
like I chose
what's more important,
environment.
environment?
You were saying that like humans are the root.
Because humans control the environment. Because there are no rights now, people just don't listen to them. If they did. Yeah.
I feel like if people are more educated, they'd be more likely to make the right decision.
Yeah, because people look at
Hi everybody, I have something to get to on here. Do we have like wrap up your little discussion? So, like, you guys know,
Okay, so
alright.
this time we're going to start with a small letter.
Will anyone on this side like to start first on why you chose environment?
You okay?
We talked about how, okay, we kind of made the comparison to all the global issues, and when you're thinking about them and you're trying to decide which is most important, they're all obviously extremely important, but the environment comes first a lot of the time, at least in my opinion, because if the environment goes, then we all go because it's our home and it's the place we live, so if there's problems with that, then there's problems with everything.
Anyone else on the side before I switch?
Like when you think about environment and human rights, you can think of it like which one goes, which one comes first, the egg or the hen, or the chicken. They both go together, but like when you think about it, like if you can respect human rights and if you can preserve human rights and make sure humans are getting their rights properly, and if they're living comfortable life, they can preserve their environment, and you can preserve the environment and have a good life for all.
So having that ground base of human rights and then moving on. Anyone else before we get back on our school bus airplane thing?
No? Okay.
Okay, awesome. We're going back on the bus.
Now keep in mind, we can go anywhere in the world. We don't have to stay in the United States.
We don't even have to stay in the world.
And we can go back in time too. So
Yes,
we're
absolutely. So it's
time
our last stop, so
traveling
choose something
bus.
special. Alright.
1978 Jupiter.
Got it.
Okay,
1978
that's very
Jupiter.
specific.
Okay, so we have to start down here before liftoff, and then somebody give me like a big 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, and we landed on Jupiter. And for our final stop today, we're gonna have. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is another generally very controversial one. So over here we're gonna have racism, and over here we're gonna have homophobia. So sorry. Which of these do you think is most important
To you.
to you?
Please exit the bus. Which one is this?
This is homophobia. This is racism. Wow.
No, I'm gonna have to
Okay. Wow. Okay. We should probably jump into the small discussion first, just so we can. If anybody wants to change their mind. Okay, so everybody just kind of pair up or group up and start talking about.
Well, because like, so like I have a lot of friends that are LGBTQA, and like my best friend, she happens to be like a lesbian. So, like, but her dad is extremely homophobic, and I can just watch how their conversations like destroy her. And like she'll call me in the middle of the night crying because she's like, my dad is, you know, like doing this, and I'm like, I can't go over there right now, but I would. Yeah. No, I understand.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, well, I know it's generally race. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so.
think
Yeah.
she was talking about
LGBTQA, sorry.
We don't necessarily have that community, and a lot of times they're couldn't get in, or if they do, they end up on the street. So they don't have that base community. People race do. Yeah, that's my stand. I chose this on this one, so.
Okay, so we jump into the, okay.
Yeah.
Like if you can't get rid of race.
Alright, everybody, we're gonna come back together as a large group.
Okay. So you guys go first this time.
Yeah. Feel free to switch.
So if actually, why don't we start with her so that if you guys want to switch, you get the shame. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. I don't know, a lot of my friends are LGBTQA, and my best friend happens to be LGBTQA. He has a very homophobic father, and I just watch how their interactions destroy her sometimes, and like she'll call me in the middle of the night crying because her dad was her dad was almost disowning her because of it, and I'm like, I can't go over there right now, but I would if I could, and it's just something I really want to like help and change for people. You should share your idea.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, personally, I chose homophobia because I believe that with race, we generally have a community. Your family can't change their race, so you have that base. Whereas for homophobia, if your parents are homophobic, then you don't have a community. You're on your own. And some of them end up on the street, and then they're by themselves, whereas with race, you have that community. So that's why I chose homophobia.
Okay, anybody from the races?
So what I was saying is that when you first see someone, and you made a good point that you can't actually like discern their race, but you can make judgments based on appearance, and that is something that you can tell just by looking at someone, and you can't tell by looking at someone how they identify, but you can sort of get a feel for what their race is like right away.
Yeah, and it's like people are automatically just be racist, but like you can't just be like, oh, they're gay, like I don't like them unless you like talk to them and know them. But like people will just like generally just like be racist against like billions of people without even knowing them. So it's just like a lot bigger of a problem, and there's like so many problems throughout history because of it. You know, that you can see.
Anyone else like to give us our last word? Is that Zach? Alright, awesome. Thank you everybody for participating. She was,
That's good.
So we're kind of gonna switch gears now to climate
Hi, I'm Aiden.
I'm Isabella.
And our Teen State Action Project is climate change and environmental protection. Yeah, we're just gonna skip that video.
Okay, so as we said, we are with Teens Take Action, and within Teens Take Action, we all get the chance to choose a topic, and we chose climate change. So, personal anecdote, I was born in Washington State, but I moved to Florida when I was 2. So all I remember is growing up in Florida. When I moved back here, I saw more trees on the drive home from the airport than I had probably ever seen in my entire life living in Florida. Not to mention the hills were incredible. Florida's very flat. It's sunny and it's wonderful at times, but it's flat. And the biggest hill that I ever saw was about 5 feet tall. So about 5 feet tall, and my uncle made it in his ranch so that we had something to roll down. So moving here was incredible. We had this incredible environment, and we decided that we needed to protect it. So our goal is to plant 1,500 trees. We've been to about 15 plantings, and we've planted around 800 so far. We want to inform people about the impact that they have on the environment, and so we partnered with organizations such as Mountains to Sound Greenway, Earth Corps, and various other organizations such as Nature Consortium.
Okay, this is a video of it's it's of an outfall water system in Alki Beach, and it's after the very first, it's the very first rain after a long dry summer, and it kind of shows how pollutants affect our water system and how cities' water systems aren't really the best. They're not natural. They go straight into the ocean. You'll see in a little bit. It's a time lapse, and you'll see. You'll start seeing some kind of. It looks kind of smoky clouds come out of here, and that is all the oil from your car, pollutants from your car, things that you put on your lawn like fertilizer. These are all things that are coming onto the road and then into the drains and out into the ocean. So, things that you can do for this is just make sure your car's not leaking oil. This is mainly oil, and this kills thousands and thousands of fish and pollutes a lot of fish, and just affects the ocean's ecosystem as a whole.
So the benefits of tree planting is they remove carbon dioxide out of our atmosphere. So a mature tree can take out 48 pounds of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere every single year. It also, as we saw, it also helps with filtration, and it provides habitats for animals and food. It also helps with noise pollution. So the more trees, the more sound waves they absorb, and less noise can get through the area.
Good. I'm good with that. So with filtration and that kind of stuff, and getting all the pollutants that come off the road, kind of, so the thing that you just saw at Alki Beach doesn't happen everywhere. We have tree wells, and the next thing you're gonna see is it's kind of an aquifer, and these things take all the pollutants from the road, as you can see, and goes into a tree well, and it filters it all out. So it's not 100% clean water that's coming out of it, but all the toxins that would go straight into the water system and go into the water cycle and kind of destroy the ocean's environment won't anymore. They will be absorbed by the tree and kind of used in other ways that won't be as harmful. I don't know where all of you guys are from, but near my house in Northgate they have redone the whole parking lot with these infiltration systems or swells in the parking lot. So after a long summer with oil coating the whole parking lot and it starts to rain, all the water goes into these swells and filters down, and it really, really helps. So a lot of Seattle has these, but as you can see, Alki, kind of South Seattle where we are right now, is not where it should be. And a lot of the Seattle government is kind of working towards that, but we still have a long way to go.
Okay, so things that you can do. Just be aware that there are these kinds of issues. Catch leaks from your car early on so you're reducing the amount of pollutants that come out of it. Buy local is huge because if you buy locally, the amount of pollutants, the pollution that you're causing by buying food that has to be transported so far gets decreased immensely because the food comes from right here. Plant trees, they are wonderful and they're beautiful and they can provide so many different benefits. And tell people about this. Let them know about what's happening and maybe you'll inspire them to take action too.
Alright, thank you.
Should we show the video? Yeah, show the video.
Yeah, the first one.
Climate change is caused by excess carbon dioxide being output into the atmosphere.
The U.S. emits 22% of the world's carbon emissions.
This causes many environmental disasters,
Such as hurricanes and flooding.
Trees can absorb as much as 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year.
Our goal is to plant 1,500 trees.
Alright everybody, that kind of wraps up our session for our first session. We are also presenting the second session for global topics.
So we have some summer workshops, and actually the Teens Take Action for next year, the applications go up very soon, actually not at the end of the year. And if you guys want more information about any teen programs and opportunities, just leave your name, email, and grade here before you leave. So, and then
Also, we have a Teens Take Action fair in April. So we'll start handing these out. If you guys would like, it would be great for you guys to come to the Teens Take Action fair. It gives a lot of opportunities.
you guys can present too if any.
Yeah, if any of your guys' groups would like to present at the Teens Take Action fair.
Applications are still going on until March 9th.
Yeah, if you're interested in presenting, put your name here and I'll email you today.
Yeah, and it's a great way to find new ways to volunteer and new ways to change the world. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation.
Right now we're going up.
Anyone have any questions?
I think it's like a organization. So it's through that.
We can't push these trees. It's a very wide.
Yes, very.